Julian Meir from Automated Marking, coming to you with another technical tutorial. So a common question we get with our cartridge-based inkjet systems, as well as our piezo-based inkjet systems, is what intensity or how dark that you should set the DPI, intensity and DPI in the software. So you click on the printer, you go to printer settings, and it's going to automatically pop you up here on printhead 1, print parameters, and then you're just going to come down here and you're going to see intensity and DPI. So with our systems, our cartridge-based systems, we can go up to 600 DPI. Now, I'm going to show you here with the cartridge itself. You can see the nozzle rows 1 and nozzle row 2. That's nozzle row A and B. Right here, you're going to see a drop down that says nozzle row. You have A with the tilde and then B, A plus B, A only, and B only. What this means is that if you are printing and you want it to alternate in between those nozzles, you can go to A, B. That will alternate in between printing every other print, nozzle A, nozzle B. Now, each nozzle row is responsible for 300 DPI. So if you want to print more than 300 DPI, here you can see I have it set on 300. That's because I was printing on nozzle row A, then B. We will go to nozzle row A plus B. Now we can take the value all the way up to 600 DPI, which is the maximum DPI for this printer. When you're printing with nozzle row A plus B, you either have to clock the substrate with a tachometer and get the speed set internally perfectly, or you need to be running an encoder, and in 99% of cases for applications where there's 2D barcoding and things like that, you're going to have to run an encoder. So otherwise you can get ghosting because the two nozzle rows aren't quite set to the same delay without knowing the speed properly. So we need to have an encoder or have clocked and set the internal speed perfectly. Let's say you're in a very dusty, dirty environment and one of your nozzle rows becomes clogged. So what you can do to test which nozzle row, you can set the print on A. Now you're printing on A only. And if you have some lines and streaking and you followed the cartridge cleaning instructions and you're still having some streaking in nozzle row A, you could switch to nozzle row B and see, okay, maybe nozzle row B doesn't have that debris pushed into the nozzles and we can still get good print out of this cartridge. The only other things that are worth noting here is people ask what DPI. So if you're on a very high contrast substrate, such as a white clay coat corrugate box that has a really nice crisp background, you may be able to use, let's say 300 DPI and have a very crisp, nice contrast. However, let's say you're printing on a highly absorbent surface, such as just recycled cardboard, let's say, and you need to print a barcode, we might need to go to nozzle row A plus B and bump it up to 450 or 500 or even 600 to get enough laydown of ink, because some of that ink is going to get absorbed into the surface. So those are the basic overview parameters of setting DPI here and setting the nozzle rows and what those nozzle rows mean in correspondence to our cartridge-based inkjet systems.